everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's about mid-October. If you listen closely, we got rain on the old tin roof. And what do you do when it's cold, drizzly out? You render bear fat. I got a couple bags of bear fat that I'm going to put in the cast iron on as low as I can get it. Put this through the grinder last night. I've already done one batch. Check this out. Beautiful, beautiful bear lard. Super easy to do. Like I said, I'm going to open these two bags, turn this on as low as possible, and I'll walk you through the process. All right, guys, it's been about an hour and a half, and you can see all that big white clump of bear fat now has totally melted down. And what we're doing was just trying to evaporate all the moisture just to leave pure fat or lard. And then all these little bits in here will actually turn to cracklings, and we're so close. All right, guys, it has been about 15 minutes. It is still pretty dang hot, but look how clear that this bear fat has rendered down. It almost looks like it's frozen. Now you're probably wondering why we're doing this. Guys, back in the old days, bear fat, from what I've been reading, was more valuable than money, especially in the wintertime, because it had so many good uses. This is actually good fat for you. Pioneers used to cook with it. They made their pastries, their biscuits, their pies. They would smear it on their bread like butter because it was a good fat, and we all need fat to survive. They put it on their leather boots, gloves, moisturizer. It's got all kinds of uses, and we are actually going to cook with it. We're going to bake with it. So this is why we are going to render it down and treat it like any other oil. Got a fine mesh strainer and some mason jars here. And all we're doing is just pouring it right into the jar. And the fine strainer just takes out any impurities in it. I also read it, if you have a jar of this and you put it in your window, it can predict the weather. I don't know how, but that's what they said. Oh yeah, and it's supposed to cure baldness too. So take that with however you want to take it. But I'll tell you this, when I was grinding this yesterday and I was handling the bear fat, I washed my hands after, and I got to tell you, my hands were very supple. Very supple. There we go. Let's see if I can hold it up. There. Check that out. Look how clear that is. Now for storage, I recommend you don't have to pressure cook this or anything. You just put a lid on it. You can keep it outside, or outdoors in your kitchen, but they do recommend in a cooler, darker place. You can put it in your fridge, and they said it'll last up to 2 years, or the freezer. All right, we're all done. Look at all this bear lard. I forgot to mention too, and we're going to do this, you can actually make oil lamps from this lard. All you need is a wick, light it, you got fire. I plan on using it for cooking, baking. I do a lot of Dutch oven cooking, and of course you got to re-season your pans. This is what I'm going to use it for. Now, you're probably wondering what all this is. This is just remnants of the fat. It's actually called cracklings. There's no seasoning in this. It reminds me of sausage. Again, with no flavor, or I mean seasoning, but it's actually quite good. I'm estimating I probably had 10 pounds, 12 pounds of actual bear lard. And we got all this, and that's pretty good.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Off Grid Kitchen. We are doing scallop potatoes tonight with grouse. Fresh, wild grouse. And Rich had this dish a few years ago, I guess, and was really good. So he wanted to recreate it, and that's what we're doing. We've got a couple friends coming down for dinner, and so I am just at this point, we got these potatoes peeled and sliced super uber thin, and we don't have a mandolin because I actually got super creative one year and tried to cut my finger off with it. So that doesn't exist in our household anymore. But Rich did cut these up for us. So I'm just getting this layer in here. And then I've got the cheese sauce ready to go. Check this out. Cheese sauce. So I'm just going to pour some of this over. And then I'm going to do another layer.
All right, we got the first layer going. Here's all our grouse ready to be prepared. I'm going to give her a good seasoning of some good kosher salt, some black pepper, and then our fresh batch of bear lard. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to brown the grouse in a cast iron skillet, and then we're going to layer it in between the scallop potatoes. All right, so we just browned the grouse. I'm going to say it's about maybe halfway done, but we're going to smother it in sliced potatoes, cheese sauce, and I just heard a gunshot go off.
Yeah.
I think our neighbor Howard just shot a deer. So, and he's actually one of our guests tonight. Don't figure, right? He actually said, can we move dinner up till 6 o'clock? Because it's opening day of Modern. And I'm like, yeah. So anyway, I'm going to excuse myself. And Brenda's going to finish this up. And, well, we'll be right back.
Okay, so while Rich is up, checking on Howard and our dinner guest and friend, seeing if he's good to go or if he needs any help with that deer he hopefully just put down. I have been tasked with finishing up this meal. So I went ahead and took the grouse that we chopped up and just laid it on top of that first layer of potato and cheese. And now I'm going to put another layer of potato and the rest of the cheese sauce on there and get it finished up. So I will show you that just shortly. All right, there we go. That is our finished product. I got the last layer of potatoes on there, last layer of cheese on top, salt and pepper, and oh my goodness. That looks so good. Wow. Now I have to wait an hour and a half while it cooks. Well, it could be that long because the guys I'm hoping are cleaning a deer. That would be super great. Okay, so we need to cook this at 350 in the oven here for 45 minutes. Right at the doorway there, it is 350. You go back any further and it goes up to 450. So this is the challenge with baking and cooking on a wood-fired oven, is that closer you get to the coals, the hotter it is. So I'm just going to keep it in the doorway here, and I'm going to put the door on it, and we're going to go ahead and cook it for about 10 minutes. I've got the timer on, and then we are going to check it in 10 minutes and spin it around.
All right, welcome back. I am back. And yes, Howard shot a nice buck on his property. Brenda took care of dinner. They're actually here right now. And what do you think? Look at this. Homemade scalloped potatoes with grouse breasts intertwined and layered. So I'm going to take a scoop. Look at that. Grouse breast, potatoes. I can smell the garlic, the fresh thyme. All right. It is time to eat. And it's stuck. All right. First bite of the grouse. Very hot. Very tender. But all we did here was just a homemade scallop potato recipe off the internet, nothing special. And you saw what we did by grilling the grouse breast and bear fat. And it is so good, so good.